Welcome to Jabs on Dazn, the show we break down all the big stories in boxing while we wait for boxing to return. Joining me now, former junior middleweight champion, my Dazn broadcasting partner, and a man that represents 6% of Daniel Jacobs' knockouts, Sergio Mora. What's up, Sergio?
You had that one in your pocket. That's not fair, and it's a quarantine snake for the next couple of months.
All right. Respect quarantine snake. Let's throw some jabs here, Sergio. Now, ever since Deontay Wilder was knocked out by Tyson Fury, there have been calls for Wilder to step aside and allow Fury to face Anthony Joshua for the undisputed heavyweight championship. Recently, David Higgins, who is the promoter for Joseph Parker, among other fighters, he has said it would be disrespectful for Wilder to take the immediate rematch with Fury and said it would be selfish of him to do that. Bob Arum has also said that the fight between Wilder and Fury now won't take place until October. So, Sergio, should Wilder face Tyson Fury in an immediate rematch?
No, he should step aside. It is selfish, but that's what you need to be. You need to be selfish in order to be a champion like that. So, yes, selfish. Disrespectful is a strong word, but I somewhat agree. Look, he already got dominated the first time, outboxed, and he got outfought and stopped in the second time. Step aside, regroup, get another win under your belt. Get that power, that knockout streak going again. Get that confidence. Get the juices flowing. Then you could come back and face Tyson Fury. And Fury should do the same. He should ride this momentum into another big fight, keep the popularity going, hopefully get another stoppage, and keep his marketability up. So, yes, I think there should be a fight in between. We don't want to see a trilogy. I don't want to see a trilogy, especially in Vegas where you're going to do 15,000. Probably going to do less pay-per-views than the second time around. Let that fight marinate and let hopefully the trilogy happen somewhere in the UK with 100,000 people watching.
Yeah, but Sergio, this isn't about what you want or what I want, but what Deontay Wilder wants and what he needs. Now, this fight had been scheduled to go on July 18th, like originally planned. I might have agreed with you. I might have said, look, that's too fast a turnaround for a guy that only had a few months off between the Luis Ortiz fight and the Fury fight, only 5 months in between a third fight with Fury and a second fight with Fury. I might have said, give him a little bit of time off. But Bob Arum said recently that this fight won't happen in July, is more likely to happen in October, and that gives Deontay Wilder a little bit of time to breathe, a little bit more time to recover, to get into a proper training camp for this particular fight. If this was 6 years ago, Sergio, I might agree with you as well. But Deontay Wilder is 34 years old. He's going to be 35 years old in October. There are only so many years in boxing that he has left. And if he takes a pass on this fight and doesn't fight again until, say, the middle of next year, that will be over a year that he steps outside the ring. And Sergio, I can't imagine him being better prepared for a Fury fight, taking that much time off than he would if he stepped into the ring just 9 months later.
That's because you're thinking as an outsider. You're thinking as a writer, as a critic, as a fan. That's not the case. For a fighter, you need that time off. You need to get hungry again. You need to feel like a winner again. And the only way to feel like that is to, if you're Wilder and stubborn and prideful, you get back in the trilogy, maybe get stopped again, and then collect another big paycheck, and then maybe call it a career in your mid-30s, like you said. I don't think that's a smart play here. Let this fight marinate. Let Fury fight AJ. Let that happen. Hopefully Fury can win and capitalize, bring that momentum back in the States. Then you can get that hunger again. Hunger just doesn't come because you lost. Hunger comes because there's something at stake. Wilder already got stopped. He already got outboxed. He needs to get that eye of the tiger back, and he needs to go back and find it somewhere, because he's not going to find it doing this exact same thing in an immediate rematch. It's just not going to happen. That's not how it works.
October, though, is a long way off. I think that's more than enough time to recover and get your fire back, get back in the ring, get your title back, and then maybe have even bigger money fights in potentially a fourth fight sometime in 2021. All right, let's talk, Sergio.
Enough time to recover physically, maybe mentally, not enough time to recover spiritually.
With a kid like Ruiz, it's almost like dealing with a drug abuser. You know, he's got a problem with eating. You don't have to be a drug counselor to understand that you'd remove him from the things that are comfortable for him.
All right, well, let's talk about another former heavyweight champion, that being Andy Ruiz. It seems like forever ago now, Sergio, that Andy Ruiz was the unified heavyweight champion. He was the belle of the ball last June when he won the three-piece of the heavyweight title off of Anthony Joshua. He lost in the rematch in December. He came in overweight. He fired his trainer after that. Currently has no trainer at this point. And now he's out there looking like one of the other heavyweights just in that PBC stable. So, Sergio, I'll ask you this. Will Andy Ruiz win another heavyweight title?
Yeah, it seems like forever, and me and you, we've ridden that forever wave. But we've got to know Andy Ruiz. The first time, he wasn't supposed to be that challenger. So AJ actually mentally wasn't ready for Ruiz. The second time around, we saw what happened. He outboxed Ruiz. Ruiz needs to do exactly what Wilder needs to do. He needs to regroup, get a fight in between, refocus, get that hunger back. And that's easier said than done, especially with a fighter that's known to be lazy, if that's what you want to call him, or maybe eating too many Snickers in between fights, gaining that much weight. So he needs to get that confidence back as well. Get a fight versus a fighter like Adam Konacki, who just suffered his first loss as well. Or there's so many fighters, Charles Martin, another fighter in the PBC stable. There's several fighters, heavyweights. Chris Arreola is another one in the PBC stable. These are the type of fights that are, first of all, they're exciting. Fans will love to watch them, and they both need a win. So the winner of that fight can maybe deserve a title shot. But for right now, just on personality, on character, on temperament, no, Andy Ruiz Jr. does not win another title.
All right, well, I disagree because I think Andy Ruiz is well-positioned to win another championship with his career just right now hitting its prime. Remember, Andy Ruiz is 30 years old. And yes, he looked awful against Anthony Joshua. He did not train properly. He let all the trappings of being the heavyweight champion get to him. He looked like Rocky Balboa after he beat Apollo Creed. Just let everything kind of ease off and didn't have that same metaphorical hunger to go out there and to fight like a true champion. But I remember, Sergio, what Ruiz was before the first Joshua fight. He was a guy that was life and death, nip and tuck with Joseph Parker, just missed out on the opportunity to win a world title there. He beat Kevin Johnson. He beat Alexander Dimitrenko by knockout. He was building some momentum, and then he went into Madison Square Garden and knocked out Anthony Joshua. This is a guy that clearly has talent, a solid amateur background, and has always shown talent at the professional level, just not the stuff behind you that backs it up. I think if he gets the right trainer, like a Teddy Atlas, gets himself back into shape, the fact that eventually the heavyweight title will be fragmented once again, Andy Ruiz still has years to win a title. So I think, yes, he will win another championship.
There you go. There you go. Wanting to change trainers again. As soon as he suffers a bad loss, do not change trainers. It has nothing to do with the trainer. It had to do with everything inside his mind and inside his wallet. He made $10 million plus. He went from having no money, insufficient funds, to millions of dollars in the bank. You don't get that education as a boxer. You don't get that education as a fighter growing up poor. So all that you've been fighting for and working for, when that finally hits you, and you wouldn't know nothing about that because you grew up with a golden spoon in your mouth, you want to enjoy it. You want to enjoy it. You want to go to every party, every red carpet, every music video in his case. But afterwards, when all that gets taken away from you, then you get back to the drawing board and get that hunger back. And that's what he needs to do. You don't want to go for the big fights right now. You just want to get string a couple of victories, get that hunger back, show people that you could still use them fast hands, and show that you can lose some weight, get in better shape, not only come in and fight and win, but prove it with your body frame as well.
Called the silver spoon, idiot. And I didn't say he should fire his trainer. I said he already did fire his trainer. So now he has to get a new one that might be able to motivate him a little bit better. Maybe get out of Southern California. Maybe trade with Teddy Atlas down in Long Island. Maybe get into Teddy's gym and get out of your comfort zone, reestablish himself. I think Ruiz has the talent to be heavyweight champion once again. Let's talk about the two heavyweight champions right now, though, Sergio. Tyson Fury has 1 belt. Anthony Joshua has 3. In the aftermath of the win over Wilder, Fury has been getting a lot of well-deserved accolades. Outlets like The Athletic have placed him on their pound-for-pound list, which is impressive because heavyweights don't often make those types of pound-for-pound lists. But Joshua's still lurking out there with quality wins, a good resume, and 3 belts. So I'll ask you this. Who really is the number 1 heavyweight in boxing right now?
I would have to say it's Tyson Fury, just because he just stopped the monster puncher in Deontay Wilder. He outboxed him the first time. It seems like the momentum is on his side. Anthony Joshua, he might be second in my opinion. I mean, look, he already got stopped. That always means a lot to me because it's hard for a fighter to come back from a knockout, but Joshua was able to do it. That shows greatness. That shows that he has that mental fortitude to come back from something as devastating as that. So a lot of credit to Joshua, but I think he's second on this now. So Tyson Fury, the #1 heavyweight champion in the world, not only what he's doing inside the ring, but what he's doing outside the ring as well. You know, from coming back from the depths of mental issues and everything that he had to fight. So both those things is what makes him not only charismatic, but also what makes him a legend and great. You know, so yes, I think he's #1 easily.
What Tyson Fury's done outside the ring is remarkable. Like, his story is an inspiration to not just fighters everywhere, but people everywhere to overcome what he's overcome with health issues, with mental health issues. I mean, all those things make for a great story. But that has nothing to do with him being the #1 heavyweight in boxing. The #1 heavyweight is the guy with the most titles. The #1 heavyweight is the guy with the best resume. The #1 heavyweight is the guy that beat Vladimir Klitschko when Klitschko was still, I think, an intimidating puncher, and did it in impressive and more impressive style with a knockout. Anthony Joshua beat Klitschko when he had less than 20 fights. He has a win over Dillian White, a top 5 heavyweight. He has a win over Joseph Parker, another top 5 or 6 or 7 heavyweight. His resume, top to bottom right now, is better than Tyson Fury's. That's what makes Anthony Joshua the #1 on my list.
Joshua has the resume. I'll agree with you there. And he did something only great fighters do, and that's regain the heavyweight championship of the world. But he got stopped. He got knocked out. He got blindsided by a chubby boy named Andy Ruiz Jr. That doesn't happen to great fighters. You never saw Muhammad Ali get beat by Buster Douglas's father or grandfather, whoever it was. You have bad nights, but you don't get knocked out. Tyson Fury, in his bad nights, he still was able to win. That's what great fighters do. That's what #1 heavyweights in the world do. And now he's a lineal champion. He's the unified champion, and you got to give him credit. He's doing everything, fighting from outside the ring as well, from the mental issues, the depression, the poverty, and he's doing it with a smile and a wink on his face. So that's greatness. In and out of the ring, that's greatness.
Losses mean nothing when it comes to greatness. The greatest of all time is considered Sugar Ray Robinson. He's got 19 losses on his resume. Muhammad Ali has 5 losses on his resume. Losses are meaningless. Your resume is what matters. And you just admitted that Anthony Joshua has the better resume. Sergio, you continue to be wrong in every possible way, but I enjoy these conversations, and we'll do it again soon. Thanks for joining me.
You know nothing about greatness. You know nothing about greatness, Chris Mannix. Have a good day.